Every Chinese New Year, billions of ringgits circulate. We actually buy beer, we buy new clothes, we book flights, we stock up on groceries. So ask yourself this question: who is actually getting rich this week? Is it you, the spender, or is it the companies you're buying products and services from? Now, most people treat Ang Pow money as a bonus to spend. Nothing wrong with that. But wealthy people, they treat it as seed capital to actually start investing. So this year, instead of just giving your money to these businesses, why not become a partner in them? Look at the Chinese New Year economy through the lens and eyes of an investor. That is the objective of this video today. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is John, former engineer turned full-time investor, currently wealth planning director at Phillip Capital Malaysia, and the author of an upcoming book called The Malaysian Multi-Baggers, where I document the journeys of companies that have at least 10x to some of them even 100x shareholder return over the past 20 years. So the first sector or first theme that we usually look at, and it's something so common, so familiar to everyone, is actually consumer staples and also sin stocks. Now, why sin stocks? I'll explain them shortly. But if you walk into any supermarket aisle today or walk past any cashier counter, what do you see? You see crates full of either liquor from Carlsberg or Heineken, or you see health-conscious drinks like crates of Yo's green tea or FNN soft drinks like brands like 100 Plus, brands like, soft drinks that we all grew up with as Malaysians. Now, these companies have incredible pricing power, especially during festive occasions. They don't need a discount. I've not seen prices actually go down over the years, but actually goes up because demand is inelastic. You buy beer for the reunion dinner, you buy the green tea to serve those who are more health conscious in your family, right? And companies like this, they are actually classic dividend payers. They turn your festive spending into shareholder dividends. So whenever you see someone pops a can or you pop a can, you should be hearing ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching in your portfolio. And when they say cheers and they yam seng, you should be happy because they are helping enrich you and you are just joining along for the ride. That's what you get when you change your lens into an investor lens rather than just being a spender. So that's the first sector or first theme. The second sector is more, I would say, durable, consumer durables, but it all involve around this theme of retail and preparation. So before any of your guests actually arrive to your open house, what do? You try to fix it up. You try to make sure that probably electrical appliances that have not been used for a long time, that is already old and you want to change something new. You buy new decorations, you put on a new floor mat, maybe you want to repaint the walls, or some fixer-upper stuff that you need to do in your house. So in today's day and age, because of rising labor costs and very hard that you can find skilled labor, a lot of these simple repairs are actually done by themselves, right? And one of the beneficiaries of this, when you actually go and buy, someone actually go and buy tools to repair your house, or even things to like screws and all these kind of things. The most affordable place for most Malaysians today is not your normal hardware store. It's usually Mr. DIY, right? It's an affordable home improvement locale. And during economic uncertainty, people don't want to renovate the whole house. They just do DIY fixes, and the volume really adds up. So that aside, once you've done the fixer-upper for your house, think about yourself. What do you need to do to be presentable? You buy new clothes, right? And in the yesteryears, most people, especially my parents' time, they would go to somewhere like Patson, somewhere like the store. I don't know whether it's still around. I've not been back to Johor for quite some time, but I know the store is still very, very prevalent, especially in states like Johor. You think about your Padinis, you think about your Cotton On, and today's day and age, we have even imported brands that make it affordable, fast fashion brands like Uniqlo, brands like H&M. These are where, as long as you can see long queues, these will likely be beneficiaries for you. That's how you change your lens to see. The longer the queue is, yes, you suffer as a consumer, but then as an investor, that is earnings visibility right in front of you, right? It's so clear, right? People are queuing, people are still spending money as if there's no tomorrow. That is how you benefit from what I call the preparation panic. Because these businesses, they know that a lot of guys don't have time to prepare prior to Chinese New Year. They're busy working, they're busy, focusing on their business. And then during those times, they don't have time to look for sale. Actually, one of the things that my wife told me was like, hey, very little sales this year, and yet still things fly off the shelf. So there you go. The second theme or the second sector is actually how you fixer upper your house, the DIY guys, and also how you spend on clothing and fashion. The third theme is actually a recent phenomena with the newer generation. Not everyone stays at home anymore and celebrates Chinese New Year like the generations of yesteryears. They're more modern. They fall into this new trend called 避年 or avoiding New Year. I don't want to serve guests. That's the only time that they have to take a break, and they actually travel. So the third theme is really about the modern Chinese New Year trend, which is traveling, families traveling together, because that's the only time they can get a break. So if they travel far, or maybe places to Japan, Thailand, or Europe, instead of driving back home. So if you think where the hotspots really are and where are the transit points, one of it is the airports. I mean, for me, I have to fly back to Sarawak, where my hometown is. Every year I do that pilgrimage. I mean, in China, they call it the Great Exodus. Chinese New Year, like, the 2 weeks before or after Chinese New Year, that's when most Chinese actually travel back to their hometown and all that. So if we bring that into a local context in Malaysia, Malaysia airports, big beneficiary of those who are actually going to fly. The transit points in Malaysia, some of them are not actually listed, so you can't actually benefit as an investor. But Malaysia airports, okay, oh yeah, they just got privatized, so you can't actually benefit. But airports in general, transit points, massive traffic during travel. The second one will be airlines, even though I don't really favor airlines, but guys like Malaysia Airlines, guys like Capital A or Asia, these are the guys who will be the immediate beneficiaries too. Then for those who are driving home, driving along the North-South Expressway, so Plus Highway, every car has to pay a toll. That's an incredible cash flow machine. Then for those traveling globally, international airlines, international transit points, and also how do they do the booking? How do they actually spend and book all these hotels? These are your OTA, online travel agency, or online travel websites. Guys like booking.com, guys like trip.com. These are global giants, look outside beyond the borders of Malaysia, but these are global giants benefiting from this trend. Not just festive occasions like Chinese New Year, but any major long holiday, they are the beneficiaries of travel. Guys who actually come out with the global distribution system for all these bookings as well. So the lesson learned here is this, if you're spending 10,000 ringgit on a trip, your portfolio should hold companies that actually facilitate that trip. Or the guys that may not be a brand that like an airline, but maybe companies that actually facilitate the booking, the travel, logistics, the payment systems, and the payment networks that actually facilitate all this booking. There you go. Theme number 3, based on travel. So the fourth point I want to talk about is really about allocation strategy. So you've collected all this Ang Pow, maybe for your children, for my children, and you collect maybe, let's just say, a round amount like 2,000 ringgit or 5,000 ringgit. The worst mistake that you can do is to take that, especially for the children, and put it into a savings account that earns you 0.2% over the long run. So I know it's not easy to, sometimes you need to pay for expenses. So I use this rule of 1/3. Okay, 1/3 you enjoy the festive occasion, go and buy the shoe, buy the things that your kids needs. Okay, another 1/3 of it is for emergency buffer. Okay, and the remaining 40%, right? So 30% on the festive occasion, 30% on the emergency buffer. The remaining 40%, buy the businesses that we talked about. I mean, find something that you're comfortable with, that you understand the business, and buy it for the long run. So the clients that I serve, I'm very thankful that I get a global mandate. So I don't just buy Malaysian names for them. We actually look at a global stock that, we have a basket of, I would say, consumer resilient stocks, global brands that actually kind of defy the normal economics 101, where if supply is increased, then the prices actually go down. But we buy companies that have this effect called the Van Blend goods, where ironically, the more expensive it is, the higher the demand, right? It's very, very, very ironic. Okay, so our team, or the team that I try to educate my clients on, is really capture where the spending really is, where millions of people are actually spending money, where millions of people are changing consumer behavior trends of the younger generation. Where are they spending the money? These are where the nuggets of gold and the compounder companies that we actually allocate for our clients really are. And don't let your money, get eroded at 0.2% due to inflation. So theme number 4 is really portfolio allocation. The last point I want to talk about is really the math behind all this. So we use an example of 2,000 ringgit or 5,000 ringgit just now. So let's use back the lower amount, 2,000 ringgit. Now, instead of putting into a savings account that gives you 0.2% per annum, if you invested at 2,000 ringgit of Ang Pow into a vehicle, I don't care what vehicle it is, but let's just say the vehicle managed to give you a return of 8% net every year. After 20 years, the amount is not 40,000. That means 2,000 every year, and then it compounds at 8% a year, right? So you only put in once, right? After 20 years, the amount is not 40,000. That's a hint to you. The amount is more like 90 to 100,000, give or take, right? And what I really want to showcase in this video, and the key lesson, is really the kids that you have. They have the best runway in terms of compounding. The longer it is, the better it is for compounding. You don't need to shoot for crazy returns like 20-30%, right? And that's where you make a lot of mistakes, because if you're trying to shoot for this kind of alpha returns like 30-40%, right, even the best investors in the world struggle to do it, right? But if you stretch the time longer, especially for the kids, and they have 20-30 year runway, right, when they get an Ang Pow, show them the stocks of the businesses that they actually spend on. Like for my kids, it's actually a convenience stores where they buy food, or they shop at certain clothing companies and things like that. So, or a favorite toy, or a favorite product, right? And in the year of the horse this year, instead of just being the consumer, I really want you to be the owner. I want to teach your kids how to be the owner, because let your money gallop, right? I know, lame joke, right? But it's a year of the horse, so let your money gallop. And if you want to build a consumer team, a consumer portfolio for your kids, and even for yourself, if you've got 10-15 years of compound, great, right? Construct a thematic portfolio, consumer teams that pays you dividend, from other people's spending. And if you're open to having someone look at your portfolio, third party, independent, hit me up in the link in the description below. Wishing you all Kung Si Fa Chai and a Happy New Year. May health and prosperity come to you this year.